An ordinary American girl, Hope Cook, transformed her life when she unexpectedly became the wife of the King of Sikkim, a small Asian state, in 1963. Their love story, akin to a fairy tale, defied the significant differences in age, origin, and cultural background. However, this enchanting tale soon took a dark turn, evolving into a harrowing nightmare. Why did their paths diverge, leading to a divorce? And more intriguingly, where is Hope Cook now, 6 decades later? There have been several historical examples of an American girl becoming the wife of royalty. Hollywood actress Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier in 1956. Student Lisa Halaby married King Hussein of Jordan and became Queen Noor in 1978. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, became famous as the recent American who married a foreign prince, Prince Harry from the United Kingdom. These women have realized their big dreams and found themselves in a fairy tale. However, such stories seem beautiful only in books and in articles in women's magazines. In reality, when two people from different cultures, backgrounds, and ages get married, the union can be a nightmare. This happened to American socialite Hope Cook, who became the wife of the king of a small state in the Himalayas of Sikkim in 1963. Today, few people remember this incident. But once upon a time, many Western newspapers wrote about the wedding of a simple American girl and an Asian king. It was as if Hope Cook had stepped into an exotic fairy tale, settling into a palace in the Himalayas. But when, 10 years later, she had to return to her homeland, it became clear to everyone that this story was far from a fairy tale. What happened? Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a young girl named Hope Cook. Born in the vibrant city of San Francisco in 1940, Hope's childhood was marked by both tragedy and a sense of longing. Her parents, a flight instructor and an amateur pilot, were taken from her at a tender age. Her mother's demise came suddenly in a heartbreaking plane crash, while her father deserted the family, leaving them to struggle alone. However, fate smiled upon Hope when her wealthy grandparents from New York embraced her as their own. They became her pillars of support, yet Hope's heart remained heavy with loneliness and dissatisfaction. Raised by nannies and governesses, she yearned for companionship and a sense of belonging. Fueled by a deep-rooted desire to find solace, Hope embarked on a spiritual journey that led her straight to the mystical lands of India. The enchantment of India's culture and mysticism captivated her soul, providing her with the semblance of home she had always yearned for. Her spiritual quest intensified after the untimely demise of her grandparents, and she found herself in the care of her aunt and uncle, who served as ambassadors in Iran. In her late teens, Hope discovered the true essence of happiness during a summer trip to India. The palpable joy she experienced in this captivating land further cemented her connection. Hope's heart overflowed with delight, confirming that the East was her true abode. Determined to remain close to India forever, she pursued her studies at Sarah Lawrence College while immersing herself in the rich Indian culture. It was during her time in India that fate intervened, paving the path for a fateful encounter. Hope crossed paths with the recently widowed Crown Prince of Sikkim in the idyllic town of Darjeeling. Despite their stark differences, a young American woman and an Asian king with 3 children, the connection between them was undeniable. Hope's passionate thirst for Indian spirituality intertwined with her admiration for the prince's power and wisdom, pushing her towards a life-changing decision. Driven by her yearning for a family she had never truly known, Hope chose to marry the widowed king. This decision, no doubt influenced by her desire to provide motherly love to the prince's children, reflected the shared sense of isolation both had experienced in their tumultuous childhoods. In 1961, the couple decided to unite in holy matrimony, although the wedding was delayed for 2 years as advised by local astrologers, who sought the most auspicious date for their union. Sikkim, a picturesque northeastern state in India, was once an independent kingdom ruled by King Palden Thondub Namgyal. This tiny Himalayan paradise boasted an exceptional culture and development that outshone neighboring nations such as Nepal, Bhutan, and India. Hope was enamored by the allure and romantic ambience of this extraordinary place, which lured her in more than any passionate love for the king. Upon her arrival in Sikkim, Hope fully immersed herself in its breathtaking exoticism. The grandeur of her 4-hour wedding ceremony, with its enchanting chants by Buddhist lamas and vibrant folk dances, left an indelible impression. Settling into her new role, she resided in a modest 5-room palace nestled amidst the stunning emerald green hills, pandas, snow lions, and a vast array of wild orchids. Hope embraced the Sikkimese culture, donning traditional attire and even relinquishing her American citizenship to demonstrate her unwavering devotion to Sikkim. Becoming a mother to the king's 3 children, Hope also ascended to the esteemed title of Queen. Her remarkable story spread like wildfire in the Western press, earning her the adoring nickname of the Grace Kelly of the Far East. And so, Hope Cook's extraordinary journey led her to a life intertwined with royalty, spirituality, and a search for belonging. In the enchanted land of Sikkim, she discovered her true purpose and forged an enduring legacy as a queen of both love and destiny. Queen Hope was a captivating figure for American journalists and was frequently featured in Vogue and The New Yorker. She was often seen in her signature ankle-length Sikkimese coat, which added to her allure. Journalists would visit the Queen's palace in hopes of uncovering her secret to eternal youth and beauty. At first glance, it appeared that this story would have a fairy tale ending, with the king and queen living happily ever after. However, the young queen faced immense challenges in her life. In her autobiography, Time Change, Hope Cook revealed that her husband, King Palden, had engaged in a love affair with a married woman from Belgium both before and during their marriage. "I expressed my hatred for her, unable to tolerate the situation," she writes. However, she later apologized for her outburst. Palden reassured her, saying, "Don't feel bad. In many ways, it showed your love for me and that you are a real woman." It begs the question, why did she endure it? "I was young and unsure of myself back then," recalls Hope. "I wasn't helpless, but it took me a long time to become a responsible adult." As time went on, it became evident that the King of Sikkim was burdened with financial problems and struggled with alcohol addiction. Moreover, he continuously caused public scandals, causing hurt and embarrassment for his wife. Even the birth of their 2 children couldn't salvage their failing marriage. On one occasion, just before she gave birth, her husband went to meet his mistress. And during another scandal, he impulsively threw her record player out the window, a lifeline to the outside world, as she describes it in her book. This marriage, marred by betrayal and scandals, was a far cry from the fairy tale depicted in glossy magazines. After a few years, Hope realized that her husband was growing older, and their once shared interests were dwindling. Additionally, she found the constraints of living in Sikkim increasingly suffocating. "I initially embraced the constraints in Sikkim. They held me together," she explains. "But eventually, it became like any other woman's story. Once you learn to live within constraints, you outgrow them and desire more freedom." Despite the turmoil within her family, Hope Cook devoted herself to helping her husband develop the country's cottage industry and resist Indian influence in the region. However, she eventually lost all hope of repairing the relationship when the situation grew more precarious. The position of the King of Sikkim became increasingly unstable due to India's plans to annex the region. Hope Cook gradually realized that her marriage was doomed. During one of her annual trips to New York, she embarks on a passionate romance with a childhood friend. In 1975, a significant political upheaval occurred in Sikkim. The Prime Minister of Sikkim appealed to India for integration into the country. This led to the overthrow of the king and his subsequent house arrest, as Sikkim became an Indian state. Hope Cook, accompanied by her 4 youngest children, managed to escape the country and relocate to the United States. In 1980, she officially divorced the former king, and 2 years later, he tragically passed away from cancer. Thus, this enchanting love story came to an end. Hope Cook then embarked on a new chapter in her life, searching for her own path. Although she expressed a desire to regain her American citizenship, she was only granted permanent resident status in the United States. Despite this immense change, one can't help but wonder if she ever longed for her once majestic kingdom, like a piece of her fairy tale that she left behind. "I have undergone a profound transformation," she pondered. "If I had possessed a strong sense of self when I entered into marriage, I would not have allowed my boundaries to be eroded in Asia." After receiving alimony from her ex-husband and inheriting a substantial sum from her grandparents, Hope Cook made the decision to lease an apartment in New York City, embarking on a new career as a writer. She commenced writing a weekly column titled Uncharted Manhattan for the influential Daily News. Additionally, her literary repertoire encompassed several notable works, including an acclaimed memoir chronicling her life in Sikkim, titled Time Change, an autobiography, an unconventional guide to New York, and a comprehensive exploration of the city called Seeing New York. In 1983, Hope Cook entered into a second marriage with Mike Wallace, an esteemed historian who had received the prestigious Pulitzer Prize. Wallace also held an esteemed position as a distinguished professor of history at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. However, the couple would later divorce. Moving forward, Hope Cook's son, Prince Palden, forged a successful career as a banker and financial advisor, while her daughter, Princess Hope, obtained her education at Milton Academy and Georgetown University, later entering into wedlock. Although she resided in London for a number of years, Hope Cook ultimately returned to the United States. Presently at the age of 83, she now resides in Brooklyn, pursuing her passions as an accomplished writer, historian, and revered lecturer. Cook frequently contributes to book reviews and various magazines, in addition to delivering engaging lectures. The narrative of Hope Cook serves as a testament to the harsh reality behind being wedded to royalty. Indeed, marrying into a regal lineage may bring forth not a fairy tale, but rather an arduous and disappointing journey. Why do you suppose Hope Cook and the King of Sikkim were unable to find happiness with one another? Remember to share your thoughts with me, click the like button, and subscribe. Until next time.